Okay, so we want to go from good to great, right?
Right.
Not just good, but like legendary, standout, amazing.
Exactly.
What's the secret sauce?
Well, let's dig into Jim Collins's Good to Great
Okay.
and uncover those unexpected factors that really make the difference.
And I know this isn't just some theory, right?
No, not at all.
Because Collins and his team, they really did their homework on this.
Oh, yeah. 5 years. A full-on research project.
Wow.
And it all started with this super basic question. Can a good company actually become great? And if so, how?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? So, spill the beans. What did they find?
Okay, get this. Forget the whole charismatic CEO thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's overrated.
Wow.
Those larger-than-life leaders, not the key.
Huh. That goes against everything you usually hear.
Right.
You always hear about these big personalities
Yeah.
that come in and just like, revolutionize things.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, some great leaders are charismatic,
Right.
but it's not about that.
Okay, so what is it about then?
Let's take Darwin Smith at Kimberly-Clark.
Okay.
He was all about quiet determination, not flashy PR.
Okay.
This guy made the bold move to sell off their traditional paper mills
Really?
to focus on the consumer market.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a game changer.
That's a gamble.
Yeah, big-time gamble that paid off huge for Kimberly-Clark.
Wow. Okay, so what about a company that went the opposite direction?
Yeah, think Scott Paper.
Okay.
They brought in the big-name CEO,
Yeah.
focused on self-promotion, the type
I can picture it.
and things.
Mm.
Well, they didn't go so well.
They didn't have that same success.
Not even close.
Wow.
And that leads us to what Collins calls level 5 leadership.
It's level 5.
Yeah, it's not about charisma.
Okay.
It's this amazing combo of personal humility and intense professional will.
Humility for a CEO.
I know, right? Sounds crazy.
It does.
But these leaders are ambitious. But their ambition is pointed at the company's success, not their own ego. They deflect praise, share credit, and constantly focus on the bigger picture.
Wow, so they're more like a coach than the star player.
Exactly. Building the team, celebrating everyone else's victories.
I love that. So they're not afraid to share the spotlight. They want everyone to shine.
And that humility, it allows them to do something most people, and especially leaders, really struggle with.
What's that?
They confront the brutal facts,
The hard truths.
the uncomfortable realities head on. No sugarcoating.
Okay, so no rose-colored glasses. Give me an example. What happens when companies don't face those tough facts?
Think back to A&P, the grocery store chain.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Remember when supermarkets started popping up everywhere?
Yeah.
They just did not adapt.
Oh, right. They just kind of vanished. They were such a big deal and then gone.
They were stuck in their old ways, unwilling to change.
Wow.
Now look at Kroger. Same challenges, but they embraced the change. And look at them now.
It's amazing how two companies can face the same challenges and have completely different outcomes.
Right. It's all about how they respond.
So you have to be willing to see the hard truths, but how do you actually get people to tell you those truths, especially if they're not pretty?
That's where Collins talks about red flag mechanisms.
Red flag mechanisms.
Oh,
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are those?
Basically, these are systems that companies can use to get honest feedback about their performance.
Oh, like a reality check.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A way to get everyone's honest opinions, even if they're tough to hear.
And I bet he's got some good examples in the book, right?
Oh, yeah. There's this really cool one, this short pay system.
Short pay.
It was started by a company called Granite or Rock. And get this. They let their customers decide how much they want to pay.
Wait, seriously? Based on what?
Based on their satisfaction.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild. You're putting a lot of trust in your customer.
Talk about accountability, right?
That's incredible. Okay, so we've got to confront those brutal facts. That's essential. But it's just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
So how does this all fit into a company's actual strategy?
That's where the Hedgehog Concept comes in.
Hedgehog Concept. Okay, tell me more.
It's like a company's superpower.
Okay.
That simple, crystal clear idea of what they can be the absolute best in the world at.
So how do they find their superpower?
By asking the right questions.
Okay, like what?
What drives your economic engine?
Mm-hmm.
What are you truly passionate about?
Right.
And can you actually be the best in the world at it?
So it's not enough to be good at it.
Nope. You got to be the best.
You got to own it.
Own it. And the book talks about Walgreens
Okay.
as a great example of this.
Yeah, what did they do?
They went all in on being the best convenient drugstore needs. They didn't try to be everything to everyone. They found their lane and dominated it.
It's like that saying, Jack of all trades, master of none, right?
That quote.
Focus is key. But you don't just snap your fingers and achieve lasting success, right?
Right. That's where the flywheel effect comes into play.
The flywheel effect. Okay, now you're just messing with me.
No, I'm serious. It's like this. You put in the effort consistently,
Okay.
align it with your hedgehog concept, and those results, they start to build.
So it's not some overnight success story.
No quick fixes here.
Yeah.
It's those small, consistent actions, day after day, building on each other, picking up momentum.
Like a snowball effect.
Exactly. Or, a flywheel.
Right, of course. The flywheel effect. It's all coming together now. But what happens if companies try to bypass this whole flywheel thing? What if they're impatient?
That's where you get stuck in the doom loop.
The doom loop. Doesn't sound good.
Not at all. It's like spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
Lots of activity, but no real progress.
Oh, so it's like you're busy, but you're not actually moving forward?
Exactly. You're reacting to every little thing, constantly changing course without a real strategy.
And the book gives an example of this.
Yeah, Warner Lambert.
What happened to them?
They went through CEO after CEO. Each one came in with their own agenda.
Oh, no. So they're undoing each other's work.
Undoing it, starting over, it was a mess.
Exhausting. They're like constantly chasing their tails.
Totally. Chasing the next shining object instead of focusing on building something sustainable.
And that brings us to
Building a culture of discipline?
a culture of discipline. I like the sound of that.
It's more than just individual actions,
Yeah.
right? It's about weaving that
Yeah.
discipline into the company's DNA.
So everyone's on board, all pulling in the same direction.
Exactly. Committed to doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard.
Like those athletes who train relentlessly, even when no one's watching.
Yes. Like Dave Scott,
Who is Dave Scott?
Ironman champion. This guy was insanely disciplined.
Okay, give me an example. How disciplined are we talking?
He would rinse his cottage cheese.
He would what?
Rinse it to get rid of extra fat.
Oh my gosh, that's dedication. That's next level. Okay, so this culture of discipline, it's got to be important for those massive companies too, right? The ones with thousands of employees.
Even more so. And the book uses Bank of America
Okay.
as a cautionary tale.
What happened there?
They were having financial troubles,
Uh-huh.
but they wouldn't give up their lavish executive perks. They just kept resisting those tough decisions.
Oh, no. You hate to see it.
And unsurprisingly, that lack of discipline, it really hurt them.
Wow, so even giants can stumble.
Okay, so we've talked about level 5 leadership, confronting those brutal facts, the hedgehog concept, the flywheel effect, a culture of discipline. It's like a recipe for success. But there's one more big piece we haven't touched on yet.
Technology.
Exactly. Technology, everyone's talking about it, just everywhere you look. So how does it factor into all of this? Does good to great say it's like the secret ingredient?
Actually, Colin says it's more like an accelerator.
Okay, so not the main ingredient, but it can supercharge things.
So it's not like you just chase every new gadget or software.
Right. You've got to be smart about it.
Strategic.
Strategic. It's about figuring out how tech can boost your hedgehog concept, not distract from it.
So find your superpower, then
Right.
figure out the tools to make it even stronger.
Exactly. And they use Kroger again as an example.
They were early arbiters of all that, right?
Oh, yeah. They jumped on dark code scanners super early on.
Smart move.
Revolutionized their whole inventory system, fueled their growth. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They didn't adopt technology just because it was new. They used it specifically to be the best at convenient grocery shopping, which was their hedgehog concept, right?
Right, exactly. So it's about using technology to enhance your strengths, not to jump on the bandwagon. It's like we've been talking about these amazing companies, these success stories. But the business world, it changes so fast.
All the time.
So how do you stay on top? What does good to great say about holding on to that greatness?
It comes back to the flywheel effect.
Okay.
It's not just about getting momentum. It's about keeping it going, even when the world shifts around you.
How do you do that? How do you keep pushing that flywheel when there are so many distractions and challenges?
By always coming back to those core principles.
The things that got you there in the first place.
Exactly. But it's not about being stuck in the past either.
Yeah.
You got to adapt,
Yeah.
right? And that's where Colin's other book, Build to Last, comes in. Preserve the core. Stimulate progress.
Oh, I like that. So you're not afraid to evolve, but you don't abandon the core values that made you successful in the first place. It's a balance, right?
It is. And you got to be willing to challenge the status quo, even when things seem great.
Because what works today might not work tomorrow. You've got to stay one step ahead.
And that's what good to great is all about, isn't it?
It is. It's about pushing those boundaries, never settling for good enough. So much great stuff in here. It's been Awesome diving into good to great. Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Just remember, greatness. It's not a destination. It's a journey.
I love that. It's about the journey.
It's about embracing the principles, the mindset, the actions
Hmm.
that lead to extraordinary things. It's about never giving up on that pursuit of being better, doing better, and hopefully making a difference in the world along the way.
Beautifully said. That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into good to great. We'll be back next time to explore another fascinating topic.